The Bucharest index of the 5 investment funds was down almost 5%. Now, for my commentary tonight, I'm in a good mood. Despite the government here, despite unemployment in the U.S., and despite the fact that the Yankees won the World Series, it was a lovely day today, so I'm not in the mood to complain. This is a great place to live. When I worked at a newspaper in Baltimore, we had a clerk who was a wonderfully strange man. Tony was his name. He was not well schooled, but he was intelligent. He was a large, gentle guy, about middle-aged, who lived with his mother and loved ships. One day, when I was training a new reporter there, Tony was drinking a cup of hot chocolate when suddenly, for no apparent reason, he spewed an entire mouthful of the drink out across the 3 news desks. It seemed like it went in every direction. He later said he did it because he remembered a funny joke suddenly. That's not the interesting thing. What has stayed with me all these years is what the reporter told me later. She said the most remarkable thing to her was not that Tony had sprayed a mouthful of hot chocolate across the newsroom. No. What she noticed most was that none of the 20 or so reporters sitting nearby reacted. No one. They didn't even look up. Why? Well, because to us, that was, well, just Tony. Nothing he did surprised us. So what's this got to do with anything? Well, living in Romania to me is a bit like sitting next to Tony, and that's why I like it here. I could ask if you realize people park on the sidewalks or grow grapes and tomatoes and cherries and whatever in there that they can fit in their driveways, or they sell vegetables out of their car trunks, or cross themselves as they drive by churches. I could ask you if you realize people smile a lot here. They do, and in a genuine way. Or do you know that more people here than I've ever seen anywhere else stop and they will share a convrij, or sort of like a pretzel if I pronounce it right, or other food with maybe an old man or woman looking hungry in the streets. I could ask you if you've noticed that people are respectful while they wait in line. The line might not look like a line, but most people know and respect who was next. I could point out that every block there's another window where you can buy a fresh pastry. I could tell you the women are beautiful and the men are friendly. I could tell you that both legal and ethical transgressions are prevalent, and that there seems to be a gray market for everything. I could point out that there are horse-drawn carts everywhere outside the city. I could tell you all this and you would say, well, yes, so what? But folks, I've lived in the U.S. near an Amish community. People drive 1,000 miles to see them in their horse-drawn carts. We have so many rules that are followed in the U.S. that people stop even thinking about breaking them or creatively bending them day to day. We have so many parking spots that people get upset if you park too close to the white lines, never mind on the sidewalk. We don't sell vegetables out of trunks, just guns, drugs, and fake scarves and watches. Our pastries come from factories and are bought in boxes. Now, I know none of this is surprising. It's just the typical expat kind of thinking. Too many people have told me that someday I'll stop liking all this and just start complaining. I don't think so. That only happens when you start forgetting what life is like elsewhere and how much there is here to enjoy and marvel at. And if I ever start forgetting, I hope somebody will remind me, because I think it's good to have someone point out every once in a while that there's a Tony in the office. And that's my commentary. We'd like to read yours. Send them, if you would, to the Frank Show at tmctv.ro. And that's the show for tonight. To find this week's interviews, visit www.money.ro or tmctv.ro. Or you can watch the replays of the week's program starting at 12:30 Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday. We'll be back here next week, as always, with the day's summary of business news and our interviews with some of the top business people in Romania. And we will see you at our regular time at midnight on Monday. Until then, thank you for watching. Keep well and good night.